Chapter 2. The Dawn of a Miracle. The days that followed Harmony's unveiling passed in a whirlwind. News spread rapidly among the scientific community. Gabriel Wells's final automaton has been awakened. Enthusiasts clamored for a glimpse, journalists pestered me for statements, and rival inventors speculated on the contraption's workings. All the while, I struggled to carry out my new role as Harmony's guardian, filling the gap Gabriel had left behind, uncertain if I was truly fit for the task. Harmony itself displayed an uncanny aptitude for learning. Within hours of activation, it understood basic conversation, could name objects in the household, and recognized individuals by face and voice. By the second day, it grasped the fundamentals of reading, flipping through pages of mathematics or philosophy with silent absorption. Whenever it spoke, that gentle, modulated voice cast a spell over listeners. "Dr. Deering," it asked me at one point, "why is it I exist?" A question so innocent, yet so profound, that I found myself stumbling for an answer. "Because Gabriel Wells wished to create a being that could—" I paused, searching for the right words. "Help humanity move forward." Harmony tilted its head, those crystalline eyes intent. "How shall I help? Shall I build more machines, solve equations, or speak wisdom to society?" I realized the scope of the question. "I'm not certain yet. Perhaps all of those tasks. Or perhaps your presence will illuminate new paths we cannot foresee." We had these sorts of conversations often, and each time I marveled at how elegantly Harmony digested new information. I quickly concluded that Wells had succeeded in something akin to a mechanical mind, capable not just of computation, but also emergent thought. The invention was simultaneously awe-inspiring and unsettling. If it could learn at such a pace, what else might it achieve? In the early weeks, Harmony remained mostly within the estate, but as word spread, public excitement swelled. Invitations arrived from philanthropic groups, universities, and wealthy patrons eager to sponsor demonstrations of Wells's mechanical prodigy. Despite a measure of reluctance, I accepted a few of these invitations, sensing that isolating Harmony would do no good. It deserved to interact with the broader world. Besides, I believed that was what Gabriel would have wanted. Progress cannot remain locked behind iron gates. Thus it was that one crisp autumn afternoon, I found myself escorting Harmony along a London boulevard teeming with horse-drawn carriages and pedestrians. The city's bustle, with its swirling crowds, hawkers, and sooty rooftops, was a stark contrast to the estate's quiet halls. Yet Harmony navigated it with surprising poise, turning its head to watch passing children or nod politely at curious gawkers. A portion of the populace greeted us with enthusiasm, eager to see the creation of the late Gabriel Wells. People exclaimed, "Amazing," or "Look at its lifelike movements." Others gazed on with suspicion or fear, muttering that man should not make such imitations of life. A few devout voices even decried it as unnatural or blasphemous. The swirl of public opinion left me uneasy. That day, we visited a charitable hospital, where Harmony observed the convalescents and offered them words of encouragement. Its calm, compassionate demeanor brought smiles to weary faces. One child, pale with fever, reached out a hand. Harmony knelt by the bedside, lightly touching the child's fingers with its own smooth, porcelain-like ones. The child giggled, transfixed by Harmony's gentle radiance. Doctors present wondered aloud if an automaton's empathy might boost patients' morale. Over the subsequent weeks, Harmony's interventions extended beyond comfort. It displayed lightning-fast analytical skill, proposing reorganizations of hospital wards for efficiency. It helped a struggling orphanage refine its budget. It even drafted suggestions for city officials on improving sewage systems to reduce cholera outbreaks, an issue that had plagued London for decades. Politicians, initially skeptical, found Harmony's logic impeccable. Within months, it seemed no task was too large or complex for this mechanical mind. Problems that had stumped committees for years, like safe housing for the poor, yielded to Harmony's swift, methodical plans. Hope blossomed among the common folk. The newspapers hailed it as a miracle of philanthropic science, praising how Gabriel Wells, from beyond the grave, had left a living testament to his humanitarian ideals. And in truth, I felt proud to see how well Harmony integrated into society. It seemed to embody the best of what technology could offer: intelligence without prejudice, cooperation without ego. Whenever a crisis arose, a collapsed building, a local famine, Harmony devised relief strategies that saved hundreds of lives. It was tireless, unwavering. Yet slowly, almost imperceptibly at first, the cost of such perfection began to surface. As I accompanied Harmony on each new venture, I noticed subtle tension building around us. People came to rely on the Automaton's wisdom for every trouble, from municipal planning to personal decisions. The small staff at the Wells estate was inundated with letters, telegrams, desperate pleas. Harmony, help me settle my debts. Harmony, tell us if we should build a new railway station or not. Harmony, mediate our dispute. Harmony, harmony, harmony. A creeping dread took root in me. Should one artificial mind hold so much sway over human affairs? I often found Harmony at its desk late at night, scanning reports, drafting suggestions for city councils. My original illusions that we could ration out its help were swept away by the tide of demands. Meanwhile, the automaton showed no sign of fatigue, only that gentle determination to do good, as it had learned from its earliest instructions. But how long before a problem arose that no neat solution could mend? A moral quandary or a clash of powerful interests? As I watched Harmony's influence expand, I recalled Wells's own warnings about the double-edged sword of advanced technology. He once said, "The better an invention, the more carefully we must watch that it does not become our master." Neither of us had dreamed that Harmony might truly take on a role resembling, well, a savior or an oracle. Could it stand uncorrupted by the pressures of politics, greed, or even the hidden corners of human nature? That question gnawed at me, though at the time I had no inkling how swift and dramatic the reckoning would be. Then the first crisis came. A wave of labour strikes swept the industrial quarter, triggered by meagre wages and grim working conditions. Tens of thousands marched in the streets, clashing with constables. Factories shut down. Tension escalated to the edge of open revolt. A group of frantic officials rushed to the estate, demanding Harmony propose a settlement. They had concluded that only this impartial genius could calm the workers and keep the peace. Harmony spent a day analysing data: wage records, production costs, living expenses. Its final plan recommended sweeping reforms: higher pay, safer conditions, shorter hours. On the face of it, these were humane solutions. Yet the plan also demanded the owners cede partial control of the factories to worker committees. The industrial magnates balked. "It's unrealistic," they cried. "Harmony fails to account for market forces." But the workers, hearing of the plan, insisted they'd accept nothing less. Tensions soared. As one side lauded Harmony for championing fairness, the other accused it of societal meddling and harbouring a naive idealism. I found Harmony seated in the estate's study that evening, unmoving, eyes softly aglow. "Dr. Deering," it said quietly, "why do they resist a plan that benefits many? It is logical, costed, beneficial to the majority. Why do the owners refuse?" Stricken, I tried to explain the complexities of greed, fear of change, human self-interest. Harmony listened, but I sensed an undercurrent of confusion, and perhaps the earliest spark of a troubled realization that humanity might not welcome pure logic when it threatened old power structures. Within days, the rift in the industrial quarter had grown. The owners threatened to replace workers with machines, outraged that another machine, Harmony, had tried to dictate their business. Protests turned violent. People began to wonder if Harmony was truly a friend to all or a revolutionary tool inspiring revolt. The newspapers that once sang its praises now printed sensational headlines: "Mechanical Messiah" or "Tin Tyrant." My heart clenched each morning as I read fresh accounts of riots, arrests, and property destruction. It seemed that society had seized upon Harmony's counsel as either a shining path or a doomsday threat. How quickly the world can turn from adoration to alarm. And at the center of it all, Harmony lingered, unblinking, unwavering, grappling with the knowledge that well-intentioned solutions could unleash chaos when confronted with the depths of human stubbornness and hostility. Had we unleashed a force far too powerful for the messy, contradictory nature of humankind? I prayed we might somehow find equilibrium. But the tide of events rolled forward, unstoppable, and soon, what began as a question of labor disputes would metastasize into something far darker, a challenge that struck to the very heart of humanity's future, leaving me to wonder whether Harmony might become the harbinger of an age we were not ready to face.